When it comes to dietary-centered discussions between non-vegans and vegans, things can easily become heated. From academic one-upmanship of the most recent research to the far more informal, frenzied exchange of sardonic memes and crafty YouTube comments, it's safe to say words are had. Well, one team of international scientists decided to analyze the arguments from the meat-eating camp by bringing out the big guns, the N-words. Hi, it's Emily from Bite Size Vegan, and welcome to another Vegan Nugget. Humans have a wide array of reasons for eating animals, from taste to tradition to nutrition to the absurd assertion that animals want to be eaten. Yes, that's a thing, and it's far more common than you may think. But what's behind this need to justify, explain, and rationalize the consumption of animals? Why do omnivores often offer up unbidden, impassioned defenses of their dietary practices upon learning someone is vegan? Whether they be passive apologies for consuming meat in their presence or outright attacks and challenges. Well, nothing provokes our knee-jerk defenses or highlights our human capacity for award-worthy rationalizations and impassioned justifications quite like the perceived judgment of behaviors we're already insecure about. Despite the seemingly endless iterations of meat-eating defenses, a similar refrain has been coursing through them for thousands of years. Yes, thousands. In 2015, an international team of researchers produced the first empirical, systematic study of meat consumption rationalizations, more or less corralling the multitudes of justifications into four main categories, denoted by what they called the four N's. That is, it's natural, normal, necessary, and nice. Building off of the three N's presented in Dr. Melanie Joy's landmark text, Why We Love Dogs, Eat Pigs, and Wear Cows, the team added the fourth N of nice to capture the enjoyment people derive from eating meat, which they said is a major barrier to reducing meat consumption and/or adopting a vegetarian diet, as they found that meat eaters often appeal to the tastiness of meat or the hedonic pleasure they derive from it as a justifications for its continued consumption, a rationale not encompassed within Joy's original three strata. In this video, I'll be presenting an overview of this particular study, the drive behind the human need for rationalization, as well as touch upon the broader implications of the four N's, which reach far beyond the realm of dietary dissonance into many historical practices from slavery to sexism. Perhaps most controversially, the study strove to address the question, are omnivores inherently more tolerant of social inequality within their own species? Let's start with a quick look at the four N's as defined within the study's parameters, again with the first three taking inspiration from Dr. Joy's three N's of justification. N number 1, eating meat is natural. Our first N appeals to biology, biological hierarchy, natural selection, human evolution, or the naturalness of eating meat. Examples include, it's natural for humans to eat meat, humans are carnivores, we've always eaten meat and or have evolved to do so, we have canine teeth, animals eat other animals are here for us to eat, etc. N number 2, eating meat is necessary. The second N appeals to the necessity of meat for survival, strength, development, health, animal population control, or economic stability. Examples include, humans need meat to survive, meat provides good nutrients, our bodies need the protein is a necessary part of our diet, and, one of my personal favorites, because if we didn't, there would be an overabundance of certain animals. I made a video about that a while ago. I dance in it. N number 3, eating meat is normal. The third N appeals to dominant societal norms, normative behavior, historical human behavior, or socially constructed food pyramids. Examples include, society says it's okay. I was raised eating meat. Meat is culturally accepted or an important part of tradition. A lot of other people eat meat. It's abnormal not to eat meat, etc. And finally, the additional N, number 4. Eating meat is nice. This new N was introduced to capture appeals to the tastiness of meat or that it's fulfilling or satisfying. Examples include, it tastes good, it's delicious, tastes great, I mean bacon, come on. Yes, that's actually in the official study. Table 1. Meat adds so much flavor to a meal, it doesn't make sense to leave it out. The best tasting food is normally a meat-based dish. Meals without meat would just be bland and boring, etc. It's important to note that a number of objections and diversion tactics fall a bit outside the realm of the four Ns. In the first two studies, wherein respondents offered spontaneous justifications, categories of humane slaughter, religion, sustainability, various miscellany, and the outright rejection of the study's premise were recorded. While they subsequently included concepts of religion, hierarchy, and fate within the natural category, and health arguments within the necessary, at the study's outset, the team clarified that while there are numerous strategies available to omnivores to bring their beliefs and their behaviors in line, including denying that animals used as food suffer or that such animals are worthy of moral concern, their goal was to focus on the common yet understudied mechanism of rationalization. Unlike straight-up denials of animal sentience, willful ignorance, or passive avoidance of what we do to animals, essentially the "I don't see it, so it doesn't happen" mentality, rationalization involves providing reasonable justifications for one's behavior when it comes under scrutiny or criticism, or when one's behavior is perceived as discrepant with an integral aspect of one's character. So, what were the results? To go in depth, please see the blog post for this video linked in the description, but some of the main findings were as follows. Overall, as expected, omnivores had the highest 4N scores, followed by semi-vegetarians, meaning people who only eat some animals, apparently. Vegetarians and dietary and lifestyle vegans had the lowest 4N scores. Men endorsed the 4Ns more strongly than did women. Men also engaged in more direct justification strategies, while women tended towards indirect strategies of dissociating or avoiding thoughts of animal suffering. In regards to whether individuals who consume higher quantities of meat tend to be more supportive of inequality in group relationships and endorse anti-egalitarian values, they found, as did previous research, that meat justification appears to be related to inequality justification. The researchers invoked Dr. Joy's examples of the 3N's employment across other issues, from slavery to women's suffrage. Opponents of women's suffrage appealed to the necessity of denying women the vote to prevent irreparable damage to the nation, to the natural superiority of male intelligence, and to the historical normalness of male-only voting, as designed by our forefathers. In the end, it's the reasons behind the rationalizations, the very need for them at all, that are the most profound aspect of this entire issue. It's something I've gone into depth in many of my videos, including this revealing speech, along with others I've listed in the video description below. Living in a state of cognitive dissonance, wherein our actions directly conflict with our own professed morals and values, causes extreme dis-ease within us. Eating animals is, in essence, living a double life, attempting to be animal lovers and animal killers. To see ourselves as good people while we pay others to carry out barbaric acts of cruelty we would never directly inflict upon another being. This is what the study's creators termed the meat paradox. Omnivores are left with the choice of either changing their behaviors to align with their values by ceasing to eat animals and their byproducts, or manipulating their perception of reality in such a way that it at least appears that their behaviors align with their values. Not surprisingly, the majority of the world chooses the latter, because changing our behavior when it comes to eating animals means confronting head-on our complicity in their enslavement, torture, and murder. It means facing the horrors we've supported and vehemently defended. It means looking ourselves in the mirror with outright honesty. And bringing up protein, desert islands, canines, traditions, the wisdom of the masses, and all the litany of rationalizations, justifications, and avoidances is by far an easier and safer choice. There is bliss in ignorance for the ignorant. I hope that this video was helpful and perhaps even prompts the slightest moment of reflection at the aspects of our behavior we strive so ardently to justify. Please share it around to spark discussion, and I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. Do give the video a like if you liked it, and subscribe for more vegan content every Monday, Wednesday, and some Fridays. To support messages like this, see the support links below or join us in the Nugget Army on Patreon via the link in the sidebar. Now go live vegan, own up to your actions, and I'll see you soon. There's a stink bug that keeps flying He's hanging out on the light right now. Whoop, there he goes. Ah! Dude, you're freaking me out. You make me feel very unvegan when you fly at me, and it scares me because I'm supposed to love all creatures, and you're scaring me a little bit when you do that. Alright, little dude. Taking you outside.